was going to try to twist it around and turn it so I can show you. But that doesn't work. Well, I took the drum deck off last year in anticipation of being able to work on this thing. Couldn't work on it. Too busy doing other stuff. Now we got some time. I put the drum deck on the back of the 389 just temporarily, just set it on there. That way I could store my crap on it so it's not all over the yard. But pulled the fifth wheel slider loose. Wanted to see what was underneath. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not all pitted too bad and rusted out. So fifth wheel plate's got to be replaced, but the slider's going to get blasted and repainted. And took the fuel tank off here just recently. That was interesting, but managed to do it without making a mess. But here real soon we're going to be cutting this out and replacing it, because I don't like the way it was done. These big old welds. The main frame was a 10 and a half, and then the piece that they cut and put in there was 10 inch. The way it was done just doesn't impress me at all. Plus, there's no inserts. There's nothing to support it. Just that plate on the bottom that they put in, welded the heck out of. I'm actually surprised there's not cracks in that weld, because they were hauling hay on the drum deck on top of this. A little more gutsy than me. But hopefully we'll be able to get into it soon. I got to build 2 new cross members, because these suckers don't belong in here and they're not going back. But be kind of nice to be able to get behind the wheel of this and haul some more stuff again. Toys, projects, never ending around here. You know, here's a little glimpse of the welding trailer I put together in the last couple of months, and some of the parts for the jack stands that I'm going to use to support the frame once I cut this frame on this Pete and cut out all that bad stuff that someone put in and replace it with a little better stuff. Well, we'll see how it goes. Well, these are the jack stands I built. I wanted them sturdy and stout enough to hold this truck. Welds aren't the best, but it'll work. Well, hopefully next week, just put them to the test. Get to working on this thing. I want to get it done and start driving it again. Well, I'll record more later, but time for me to go home, have lunch. All right, this is what I've been working on. This is the idea for the jack stands to hold the frame on this Pete while I do the framework to it. I wanted something strong enough to hold the weight of this truck and not sink into the dirt, because I got to do this outside. So I wanted a wider footprint. That's why I went with the channel and then the 1/4 inch uprights, then the channel on top. And then I took these out of some welding stands I had. They're for pipe, but I'm going to cut the V off and then put the channel on, but it's not thick enough here, so I'm going to put a 1/4 inch or 3/8 plate under it to strengthen it. But yeah, it's a work in progress. I got the second one here. Oh, don't look at my welds. I haven't stick welded in almost 20 years, but it'll hold. Well, done for the day, so I'll come back and finish it tomorrow. This is the idea I had with the feet for it, so it wouldn't tip forward or backwards. It'd be more stable. Kind of the bigger footprint, as I was mentioning earlier. I just stuffed one under. It's not tacked in yet, but I wanted to be able to see what it looked like before I left. Yeah. God, I want to get this truck done. I want to drive this again, but gotta fix this. Whoever did this didn't do it the way I thought it should have been done, and I don't trust it. And I bought it that way. I knew it was going to need it, so let's get it done. It's only been 11 years I've had the truck and haven't finished it yet. Divorce was in there somewhere, so yeah, that's not too much of a procrastinator. It's my lie. I lie it the way I wish, I guess. So this was the idea I had with these jack stands, how I wanted to support the truck. Well, it has been cut. Not how I wanted to do it, but it will work. Got a lot of cleanup. Yeah, and those aren't going to be there. I got two more actual Peterbilt cross members. Someone put something else in here. I didn't like that. But a lot of cleanup. And then we'll fit and tack in the frame rail for tomorrow. Got it sitting right here. And then the insert that's going to go in to double frame it 2 feet past the welds on each end, which that's going to be interesting putting that in by myself. Oh well, we'll figure something out. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I cut that side out and then cut the frame rail piece to fit, tacked it in, and kind of welded it in place. It's been a couple of weeks. Then today I cut this side out. Just started doing some cleanup till I ran out of battery power. And it's late enough in the day, I'm going to go home. But we're not changing the length of the frame. We're just cutting out what someone else did. Gobby, horrible mess when they stretched it. And then kind of fix it enough to get it by until I can get 2 new frame rails for it. might be a while. I got a couple other projects that's got to get done soon too. But since now it's mid-October now, I got to get this done before snow flies. Well, that right there is the frame rail piece that I'm gonna cut to fit tomorrow, and then get it tacked in here, and then over the next couple of days try to get most of it welded up. I still got to clean the welds up on the other side, make sure everything's good and straight before I put that insert in. But I wanted to get this side in first before I start worrying about inserts. Make sure all my measurements are correct, and that I didn't change something, which I'm not too worried about. Just a little bit of a difference, as all the bushings in that rear end, bushings, spring hangers, everything's going to be changed and then taken down and realigned. But for an old farm truck, it'll work. Well, I got most of the holes drilled on this side, got a few on the other side. Got two of the cross members temporarily in place, fitted in pretty much. I just gotta get the rest of the holes drilled, then take these bolts out, grind the welds smooth, touch up the paint, or the rust inhibitor paint, and then pull all these out one at a time and replace them with the new ones I bought, and then put on the suspension brackets. Should be done in a few days with this part of it, and then assembly of everything else. I got it back together enough to move it around the yard. Changed the angle of the carrier bearing or the drive shaft, so the carrier bearing set up higher, about 4 inches higher than what it was. Looks about right. Cut out those old pieces of frame rail that just wasn't right. Put in 2 new pieces, welded them in place, and then put the sleeves or inserts in. You can see the front one in there. The front of that one. Took out those hokey cross members, threw them away, actually cut them in half, and then got 2 from a wrecking yard, put them in. Wind. It's supposed to snow in the morning, but everything back on it, fuel back in the tanks, so I was able to fire it up and turn it around. Just got to do some work to the 5th wheel plate, or not the plate, but the slider, replace the plate. Yeah, it's spring ride. I was thinking about changing it over, but not yet. I got another idea for the truck, and it'll get probably an updated air ride suspension for the back. But had to wait for these tank straps. That took forever, it seemed like. Almost forgot about them until they showed up. It's like, oh, I forgot. I ordered those months ago. But still got the old school big cam Cummins in it and the 13 speed, but it's gonna stay like that for a while. I haven't Haven't decided if I wanted to change it over to a cat yet or not. If it goes haywire, then yeah, it'll get a B model cat. But, so right now, what I got to do to it is get it in the shop, drain all the fluid out of it, replace the block heater that went to crap last winter, and I want to change out every hose for coolant, air, oil, every hose, air line, the heater core, change it all. Knowing my luck, if I'm going to have problems, it's going to be in the middle of the winter. It's going to blow a heater hose or radiator hose or spring a leak in the heater core. But I'm going to put new U-joint up there, one back here. This one I didn't change out yet because I want to change the carrier bearing, and I haven't been able to get the carrier bearing yet. Surprisingly, they said they're sold out and it's going to be a while. So I'll do that U-joint and carrier bearing at the same time. But it's coming along. Hopefully by spring I'll be able to hook a trailer to it and start hauling something around. Looking forward to driving this whole thing again. Well, it's back together and movable around the yard now. Now I got finished putting a bunch of stuff together on it, rewire the whole chassis, put the fifth wheel back on, and change out all the air lines and electrical. More projects. Well, the truck is parked, so now I'm gonna head home, find something to eat, take a hot shower, and take a nap, sleep.